Internet self-trust on display. And why does collaboration often seem so difficult? Do you trust your true spirit? What many think they are truly is their soul or self. The word with L in the middle. The face in the mirror. And Michael L. Martin claims the soul is another level of the matrix. People think they are the pathological cluster B person, and they're in that group possessed by their mask. The image on display and all those digital black scrying mirrors we call cell phones or laptops. Socially, the narcissist is a prisoner of his image. The online communal or collective hero subtype of narcissist actually be lives. He is a powerful rescuer. His view count, likes, and the size of his audience determine how big he is, how much grandiosity and ego he can ride on. The popular New Cager's head swells, deep ending on his how he shallowly conceives he is serving others pseudo-awakening. Whereas the light you see in this hand actually seems to temporarily give me some real self-confidence. That AM morning sun I'm missing moments of to do this. Those airheads exude so much self-confidence in the new cage, but what is it based on? How many really trust themselves without the big audience? Conversely, does it make me appear to be a collapsed narcissist, a collapsed covert narcissist, to keep on making hundreds of videos after the algorithm adamantly seems to, beside that one video, keep me on the tiny views list? Well, the thing is, I don't base my self-worth in what IT does, especially as I've exposed the wrong-headedness of the beast in general and the original and ongoing evil intent behind the original creation of the worldwide spider web. The tyranny of most of the video platforms on the worldwide spider web, yet I still persist in attempting to use it to awaken and heal myself socially and others. Is that masochistic? However much I trust and love myself, my little me and others will all be on display on YouTube, at least for the psychically aware. And the algorithm makes it often seem like it itself is an insecure cluster B system, rewarding only those who can financially or through their cuteness or compelling abilities feed me, Seymour. Feed me more eyeballs. It rewards those who can stay with their eyes glued and addicted to YouTube. Those who stay in their lane, niche, who often make hundreds of videos that are like cookie cutter copies of the original concept behind their channel, with tiny little twists in each video. A narcissist's self-trust seems to come from others. And this is why Dr. C would say, there's no there. No real identity. No real basis to build from. The Matrix judges you by what's in your hand. How you got there. What letters are behind your name, what you do, and your financial or perceived importance trajectory. If you'd look into it, many on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Sex, or TikTok may actually hate themselves, yet exude massive false self-confidence, or just by making little 2-minute videos of really cool things and grow huge followings because they master the online attention-grabbing video game, literally. I've actually met folks who hated themselves, but thought they were building self-trust back by getting millions of views on Instagram. They still seem really lacking in self-respect and love to me. Yet many of those influencers in 3D or flesh sack reality are losers who actually have no friends at all. In that, I can sadly relate. My mom begged me for 3 years to get disability for my horrific illnesses before I agreed. I collected cans, working a route I designed on Ocean Street in Santa Cruz by asking cashiers and clerks permission. I didn't have to talk to anybody. And digging through garbage for 3 to 5 hours, I'd come up with $5 20 years ago. I was so adamant about financial sovereignty and purity, and seeming like I couldn't make any money in my 20s busking with the guitar, I resorted to the one independent thing anybody can do without having to go through the arduous and nasty process of getting a job, working for themselves, and then later they removed every place in Santa Cruz proper where you can, unless you go to the health food store, that you could get money for cans. I knew I didn't want codependency or to work for others. Now, in hindsight, I could see how and why I was right about refusing that as far as my relationship to the whole. Because the beast and those who are to any degree controlled by it, who are still in my human family, can only reject all of my work. Given voluntarily in this situation, only those who suffered the pure hell of Matrix bootstrapping can be honored, especially in a man form. Laura could begin there after her mom as I recall, also begged her to do that dastardly deed, and then eventually give it up and give up the teat and work her ass off on disclosure stages and interviews as a president's great granddaughter and build a huge following, even getting hundreds of thousands of subscribers, kicked off YouTube forever only to be invited back a couple years later because I guess they needed the money, and even be the one person in all of those clicks online to actually include me briefly, but not as soon as I questioned her grandiose purity at all. Rob smokes weed and hits vapor pens while doing interviews, some of them with brilliant truth-telling writers and a lot of tarot readers and some famous, compelling OG charlatan grifters seeming to be insecure on videos. But I know he really is skeptical, because maybe due to the notes I wrote on the last page alone. Because even though when I called in, he promised me an entire show interview, he only ghosts me. Did someone in the clique warn him about me, or is he that three-dimensional capitalistic on a show that seems to be focused on talking about multidimensionality, ironically? Schizodums and Alex likewise ghosted my emails until I sent her a link to my video about ghosting, in which she responded like a classic autistic narcissist with an excuse as to why she couldn't possibly honor me at all. Because she doesn't have timey to honor someone's email who doesn't pay her money or who isn't a well-loved personality. Hey, I'll admit, I was being silly with her, displaying in my reaching out in that email, or those emails, the last vestiges of my dying Pisces rising obsessive infatuation machismo, which is very Matrix, false self, beast-oriented thinking, that I actually use that situation to heal. Thanks, Alex. You helped me to get over that stupid part of my subconscious through your autistic narcissism. There are others I really like who seem to refuse to do that part of their inner work. In other words, to become open to collaboration, but yet who still make great videos, such as Marina Karlova, my mutual subscriber friend Anika, the guy who permanently banned me from making comments on his BitChute channel for talking about the good that's still here, Keith the Puppet, Jeremy the Real People, all of these folks make great videos, but they still haven't, gotten to the point of being allowing themselves or being open to collaboration. Whereas me, it's partially due to procrastinating on the part of my shadow work involving learning how to overcome the archonic interference in the gadgetry. My friend, when you changed your name to Sophia Dragon, as you claim to channel her, I should have known your higher self would cause the little me child part of you to become overwhelmed by my autistic enthusiasm in that longer email I recently sent you, inviting you to back up your, pretend readiness to do a live stream with me, and then you ghost me. Unless Google was actually going back to the pure evil of not sending you that email. I should, or shat on my self-trust if I believed it was based on others' opinion. Hopefully my landlord is listening to this. Even though he's hooking me up for a few weeks, I suppose. It isn't. My self-trust and self-confidence will never be based on what other people think. As my friend Brian Smythe says, what other people think of me is none of my business. Well, that's probably a half-truth. I mean, it does reflect me in a way, but it's not going to base my self-worth. Because my self-trust isn't based on others' opinions. I certainly have no trust of channelers, even if they are my friends and subscribers. I have plenty of anecdotal evidence the entities being channeled might give you a lot of brilliant New Age platitudes, and they will then come with the dump in the punch bowl, as Tony Sayers calls it. It seems to me my experience has been, and maybe because of my issues with it, that most people are radically insecure and have either no desire or no clue how to rebuild it. I used to be like Rob in the sense that I thought I needed Cincy or seedless cannabis, ganja, to feel self-confident, doing ganja alchemy every single day to glean some self-trust through it. Does that work? Well, the powerful plant medicine, the powerful entity Ganjika might be able to convince you of that. In my opinion, it never really works, although it can fool the toker into thinking it does. You can borrow some self-trust from weed, but you can't fool others with true discernment. I would occasionally totally repel folks in this manner, whether through playing music or even maybe on this channel. Also, I often feel like an imposter teacher simply because I am a 48-year-old virgin body when it comes to relationships. I've only had brief sexual encounters. Those with strong hierogamies, on the other extreme hand, seem to have lots of self-confidence from their relationship. But aside from Christine and John Nolan, I actually can't think of anyone else who has really achieved it and actually done their shadow work together as they seem to have. I mean, really, it's an interesting thought that perhaps actually dying is what it took for me to get my head out of my ass, being so narcissistic, so psychologically typical as a somewhat talented musician, self-help book junkie, student Buddhist, student shaman, thinking in my 20s I had to join the 27 Club and single-handedly save the world with my oneness-aware music and then kill myself in a drug overdose. I mean, I really did have my head shoved up my ass so far that it seemed as though I needed to supposedly fall over on my bike and be run into by a PG&E truck, break 15 bones, and have this brilliant sunlight and, using bone broth and THC and CBD only to heal those bones before I threw. Again, this totally contradicts what Joshua says, that from my experience, the self-healing capability, even under the hybridized and, infected and injected modern human form, all those small bones healed themselves. The self-healing capability of the flesh suit actually seemed to give me the self-confidence to finally share all the wisdom, or a lot of the wisdom I've learned and healing techniques I've learned. Sure, YouTube and the Freemasons would trust me far more with a wife. But most other public figures, aside from John and Christine, seem to be in those alien love bites. If you never see or hear from or about the public person's wife or husband, that is a huge red flag to me. Shit. There may not necessarily be any evidence that they even exist. Howdy. It seems self-trust in this sick Matrix hell realm is very hard-earned. Because the devil is, and the archons are going to do a fucking masterful job to thwart your self-esteem if they can. Because if you really trust yourself, they can't control you. By not getting pummeled to death by the Matrix's nearly endless stream of bullies and boss levels. It seems like we garnish self-confidence and self-trust through experiences that it doesn't thwart and fuck up. But those experiences are still judged by Matrix Archon mobs. As I've said, most of the few on YouTube who've shown me equal respect and inclusivity are those who feel this is a hell and are anti-natalist, adamantly not monetized, even though most of them reach a few thousand subscribers on average. In this way, they'll try to share the full truth with the people, building their self-trust even more by rejecting and exposing the loose farm. Joshua went back and deleted all his old videos where you can see his head. I think he's afraid he's going to get, attacked by trolls locally or online for that. Yet, he'll allow anyone who has something to say or who truly wants to have an open conversation about this Hell Realm Matrix and how we can leave it peacefully. Come on and discuss it. From some people that I'd say are kind of dumbass to the brilliant, to the very well understanding. And this, I feel, is a great service. These now shift long or 5 and 6 hours long recently live streams are, again, in my opinion, possibly, potentially, and can be a great service to us in awakening. Because he doesn't have all the bullshit to block it out. He's truly not hierarchical, even as a Capricorn, just completely throwing out the fake ass list of prerequisites you need to go on his channel. Yet as a massage therapist, he surely did not try or have to build the necessary self-confidence and trust to do this online. He already had. He already had it to some degree. And that is something to consider. Even though it seems to me the algorithm tries to fuel his inner adamancy that this is only hell because it is going to give him more views if he stays in that lane. Aside from those aforementioned pseudo-heroes, true narcissists have really no self-trust at all, are usually moral cowards and psychological 2-year-olds. Just like the devil whose personality they're copying. The devil who designed their segmentation in his image, and most of them would never appear online, fearful that you'd see all that insecurity in their face as one of the reasons. The devil certainly seems to have a need to adamantly destroy and obliterate your self-trust, so you don't conquer internally his repugnant ass going on You know, he does have some self-control. The devil does have some amount of control online. Like yesterday when I went on Joshua's StreamYard, the really nice microphone in my Android sounded like shit. And you kept hearing stuff like... What are those sounds? Those are archons. Those are online archons, okay? That's what they fucking sound like if they don't make an actual voice. And partially due to the fact that I was uploading that 45-minute rant at the same moment, right here in this room with air conditioning, I see a message on my phone saying we have to shut down some apps because we're overheating. Is that a coincidence? Or is coincidence a matrix term? And the Archon, as I said in the chat right after that, found a way to censor me, knocking me off the live stream. So yeah, like I say, I have to learn how to overcome the archonic interference online more so. Most narcissists can never go online because their vast insecurity will be visible. Those cliquey hero narcissist pseudo healers online, on the other hand, will never respond to my comments, feeling constantly competitive, and threatened by my many powerful points I might put in their chat room or comment under their video. They never encourage me. And these are some of the great, famous leaders of the disclosure movement. Those two chicken shit to make their own talks, on the other hand, cannot conversate here with me, of course. Sure, the camera can show my autism or weaknesses and bring out the beast's rejection. Yet I have built a little bit more self-trust just doing this and never giving up. Putting the truth from my perspective out there. I honestly, and I'm thankful to YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute for allowing me to do that. I honestly don't fully care if I get your dragons go ahead. I care to share and expand our true gnosis and awakening. Like it or not, we are all co-interdependent in reality. Whether you're talking about the fucking Matrix or if we built another realm outside of it. It is really irrelevant whether Miguel Connor thinks I'm worthy of an interview or what any slick capitalist truthers think of me, no matter how brilliant of an artist they are. Like, he's a pretty good artist. I love some of his shows, sure. But I don't love how money's control shits on everyone's self-trust and successfully still keeps us in our little bubbles and our little camps and divides and conquers most of us still to the dying moments of paper fiat. It's going to keep pushing for division until it can keep us all controlled by the digital pen it's installing in its sick mind if it gets its ideal. That division and conquering by money needs to be upended soon, or the digital enslavement will keep working till they achieve their filthy goal. We are sharing this realm. There is tremendous power in the early morning sunshine to heal, and it does help me regain self-confidence. We are here together even though the Matrix beast still has most of us separated by its venomous jaws and contracts and dollars. Can you build self-trust on DARPA's internet web video platforms and these monopolies and these extremely controlled robots we call the control freak robots we call the algorithm? Maybe, but I doubt it. Because if you're not a slick capitalist yourself, in which case you can build your money and your confidence, it might try to tear you down and remove the self-confidence you already have. If it must stay that this channel is a way of playing the devil, making fun of the filthy fake god archons, or displacing their false powers a little, fine. True self-confidence from the healing we have. True self-confidence, in my case, comes from the healing I've already done. I've actually done. Some online have this, Some of these teachers online actually do have real self-trust and real self-confidence, and thus they can really help you to heal and awaken. They're not all grifters. I've got self-trust from the true transformations I've undergone. When my food diet becomes livid. In other words, when what I put in this flesh suit and the thoughts that I be truth as my own are living respectful, or raw, real, then that is part of the self-awareness, self-trust that I have and can share. Dr. Cruz's prescription to expose yourself to early morning sun, he says, do the Sphinx at dawn. By the way, he just finally started his own YouTube channel, Dr. Jack Cruz, so I would recommend go subscribe and watch it. I was already into morning sun baths before I heard him say that, but yeah, that has been a huge facet in not only healing temporarily my fleshly illness, but also to regain. It does make me feel self-confidence, self-trust, self-esteem. In the end, if this channel has to remain voluntary, a choice to give away gnosis and be hated by the capitalists, fine. I'm still thankful for the true creators within you and it. I still love to give awareness of Christ Sophia to the few. And if you haven't already and you enjoyed this, subscribe, follow. Follow me on BitChute for even more hardcore truths. And when you do, garnish a little self-trust and self-confidence. Why not create a greater moment? Do something creative to make your existence a little more real to the actual divine, a little more joyful,